Daf Nun Dalet Amud Beis. We'll begin Daf Nun Dalet Amud Aleph, 8 lines from the bottom. But Mayaskina, what are we dealing with? We discussed earlier that the Oiler Golem would come, the Kohanim would roll back the Paraychas so that the Oiler Golem could see the Kruvim embracing each other, hugging each other. Ruach Hibascham Liftei Hamakom. What period of time are we talking about over here? Rav Mayaskina. If it's the first base of Mikdash, was there a paraychas? In the first base of Mikdash, the division between the Kodesh Kodashim and the Heichal and the Kodesh was with the Amatraxin, was with the wall, not with the curtains. So, L'chera was not a Mikdash Rishon. Ela b'Mikdash Sheni, you'll say it's the second base of Mikdash. Mihave Kruvim. In the second base of Mikdash, they didn't have the Kruvim. The Aron with the Kruvim were taken away or hidden. And they didn't have them in the second base of Mikdash. So what are we dealing with when we're saying here that they were Kruvim and there was also a Paraychas? The Gemara answers, L'olam b'Mikdash Rishon, it's the first base of Mikdash. Umay Paraychas, which Paraychas are we referring to over here? Paraychas the Bavi. It means the curtain to the entranceway. There was an Amatraxin. There was the wall of the Amatraxin, but it had an entrance. And that entrance was covered with a curtain. That curtain, that Paraychas is rolled up for the Oiler Golem to see the Kruvim. The Amar Vizera Amarav, he says, Shleisha Asa Parechas Hayav Mikdash. In the base of Mikdash, there were 13 curtains. Shiva Keneged Shiva Shorim, 7 opposite the 7 gates of the Azoram. Shtayim Achas Lepitzcha Shel Heichal, Vachas Lepitzcha Shel Ulam. There was another 2. One was the entranceway of the Ulam, the other one was the entrance of the Heichal. So that was a total of 9. Shtayim b'dvir, u'shtayim keneged b'aliyah. There was another 2 in the dvir, meaning the 2 curtains, the curtains that were in place of the Amatraxin that separated the Kodesh and the Kodesh Kodashim. They had the outer and inner curtain. And keneged b'aliyah, on the upper level, there was an upper level, the area above the Kodesh Kodashim, the up area above the Heichal, similarly had 2 curtains. So just like we had curtains in the second base of Mikdash separating the Kodesh and Kodesh Kodashim, we had curtains in the first base of Mikdash. In the entranceway of the Amatraxin, there was a curtain, and that's the Paraychas that we're referring to. Rav Bar Yaakov Amar Lo Elam b'Mikdash Sheni. He says it was b'Mikdash Sheni. In the Mikdash Sheni there weren't Kruvim. What Kruvim are we referring to is Kruvim Detzurta Havakaime. They didn't have the physical Kruvim, themselves, but they had a tzura, they had images, sketches of the Kruvim. Dechsiv, as called Kiras Habayis, Mesav Kru, Mesa Kela, Kruvim V'Timres B'Turei Tzitzim. It says in the Pasuk that the walls of the base of Mikdash were surrounded by design, and they had the designs of kruvim, palm trees, and blossoming flowers. And it says, "V'tzipa zav miyusha ala ha-mechuke," and they covered them, they overlaid it with gold. It was flattened over the engraved designs. Uksiv kamar ish v'loyes, and it says, so the designs, the sketches, the etchings were like a ish v'loyes. The joining of a man, a company. We'll see what this means in a minute. My kamar ish v'loyas. What does that mean? It means ki ish ha'ma'ura b'lavayishla. A man who is joined, he's embracing, he's hugging his wife, his companion. So therefore, even in the base of Mikdash Sheni, there was the curtains, the paraychas. There was no Amatraxin, and they didn't have the physical kruvim, but they had the etchings, the designs of the kruvim, and that's what it's referring to, is that they were hugging each other. When the Nachrim came into the Heichal, they saw the Kruvim, that they were embracing each other, they were joined together. They took it out to the shuk, to the marketplace. And they were deriding the Yidden. They were disgracing them. They took the Kruvim to the shuk and they said, Yisrael halal shebirchos brach v'kelos and klola. The Yisrael who are so exalted that their brach is a brach, and they give a klola, it's mekayim, it's niskayim, and the klola is a klola. Yaskim b'dvarim halalu. It seemed to be that they were oisik in kivyachol lahavdil elef havdalas obscenities. They should be oisik in these types of things. Miyad hizulim. So therefore, they disgraced them, they debased them. Shenemar kol machbadah hizilu kira ervasa. They saw their erva, and this is the erva they're referring to. They saw the erva, so to speak, that they saw this the kruvim, that they had these either physical kruvim or the sketches, the etching of the kruvim embracing each other. The question is that this. But the kruvim were embracing was only at the time. It was at the time when the Yisrael oisim Ratzon Shalom, when there was the ava, when there was the love of the Rebbeinu Shalom Kol Yisrael, and that's symbolic. The kruvim are symbolic of the relationship between them. This was at the time of the Churban. It's the time of the Churban. Why were the kruvim? Why were they embracing each other? The Rimagash explains. He says because the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to show the Umois. This is the love that was there. This was a relation. You're given the right to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, but they should know what was the relationship that was and the glory that was, and to demonstrate to them that to the Ummais that who Klal Yisrael, who they are, and what they are when and the level when they're Oisim Ratzon Shalom, and what they're destroying and who they're destroying. Perhaps we can offer a chiddush, we can suggest possibly that the reason why it was shown this way at this time, even though it was a time of anger, it was a time of the Churban, it was at the time of, so to speak, the Gerushin, perhaps it was actually a demonstration of the Rebbeinu Shalom's love for Klal Yisrael. The Darshan, the Chazal Darshan, that if the Kadosh Baruch Hu took out his anger on the Eitzim Va'avonim, and if it had been for the Churban, it would be Rahman al-Islam, it would be that Klal Yisrael themselves had to be destroyed. So the Churban of the bias was actually the salvation of Klal Yisrael. So perhaps this really was the demonstration of Abba, of the Rebbeinu Shalom Klal Yisrael. There's a Churban Abayis, but this Churban is because Kadosh Baruch Hu loves us and showing his Ava to us. He's showing the Ava. There's the Churban, which is really the salvation of Klal Yisrael. So it really was a demonstration of Ava. Right in the Gemara, there was a stone, and the stone was the place in where the Makom of the Aron was a stone, and it was called Shasiyah. It was called the foundation. Tana Shemimenu Hushazo Oilam. From there was a world, the foundation of the world. Tanan Kimando Omar. So therefore we learned like the one who says Mitzian Nivra Oilam. It was the foundation of the world. That means the world was created from Tzion, from Eretz Yisrael. The Sanya was taught in the Braisa. Rabbi Lezer Aimer Oilam Me'emtza Isa Nivra. The world was created from the center. Shenemar B'Tzedek Afar Lemutzak Urgavim Yudvaku. It says that the world, when it was created, the world, dirt was poured and it formed the bedrock, meaning that was the stone, the foundation of it, and Urgavim Yudvaku and clumps stuck around it. So you had a center, and around it spread, and clumps around it, forming the earth, the world. It was from the sides. The world was created minat stadim, and it's stretched, and it's from the sides. It came from all the sides and stretched till it came to the middle, not from the middle to the sides, but from the sides to the middle. He said to the snow, become earth, and the showers, the rain, and the showers is in strong rains, and it says therefore that the way Rashi explains it, and therefore you have from the four sides, you have the Geshem, and it says L'shel Gemer Haveretz. That's one. V'Geshem Motar, and V'Geshem Motar V'Geshem Mitrois Uzay. So, and therefore you have the snow, the showers, and rain, and mighty rains. And so therefore you have four. That's from four sides. It comes from four sides, and it spreads to the middle. It's snow and showers and rain and mighty rains. Rav Yitzchak Amar, he says, Evan Yora Kadosh Baruch B'Yam, he threw a stone into the sea, Mimana Nishtas Oilam, and from that was the earth was founded. That was the foundation of the world. Shenemra Alma Adana Hatbu Oimi Yor Evan Pinosa. It says that the friends, the colleagues of Eob said to him, "Do you know? Can you fathom the creation of the world?" Do you know Alma Adana Hatu? Do you know on its bases are sunken, and who cast down its cornerstone? Right, so do you know who made from the water made it into earth? I remember the Chacham say, however, Mitzion Nivra, it's from Tzion, from Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar, it says, Mizmar Losav, Kel Elkim Hashem. It's a song for Asaf that the mighty Hashem, and he says, the Pasuk says, and he called forth the earth, V'aymer Mitzion Michal Yofi. And it says that after that, it says, from Tzion was the consummation of beauty. Mimena Muchlal Yofya Shaloilam. From Tzion was the consummation, it was consummated the beauty of the world, meaning the creation of the world. And therefore, when our Mishnah says that the image should see the foundation of the rules of Kodesh Kadoshim, that's according to this Mandomer that it was Mitzion. Tanya, Rabbi Lezer Goroloimer, it says that the Pasuk says, these are the generations of heaven and earth when they were created. In the day that he made the heavens and the earth and the heavens. It says the generations of the Shemayim were from the Shemayim, meaning the sun, the moon, and the stars. Told us the generation of the earth were from the earth. They say no. Like we said, Shenemar Mizmar Losav Kelokim Hashem Dibar V'Yikra Aretz MiMizrach Shemesh An Mavoya V'Omer Mitzion Mechlal Yofi Elakim Hoifiyah. Continue on with the Avodah of Yom Kippur, Natal Esadami Mishamars Boy. The Kohen Gadol takes from the dam of the par, he takes in the bowl that had the dam of the par. As the Kohen Gadol went in to do the burning of the Ketores, there was a Kohen that was stirring the dam of the par in the bowl so that it should not harden. So now he takes it from it and he does the hazos. He does 1 above and 7 below. And it says that he didn't intend to do it. It's not literally on the upper part of the kapiris or the lower part. He did it, he sprinkled it, kimatzlif. My kimatzlif, what does it mean like a matzlif? Machvi Rabbi Yehuda demonstrated, he said, kim nagdino, like a whip. When somebody whips, the shlich bezin whips a person who has malchus, he doesn't whip it on the same spot. He does it on a higher part of the back, then higher, then lower, successively down. So he does, what it means is, it's not on the kaparas on top and on the bottom. It's a higher level, it's the upper level, but not on the kaparas. It's opposite the kaparas. Then successively 7 levers lower down, one lower than the other.